Well, welcome back, folks, to another episode of Firewood Doctor. As you can see, it's raining. I filmed this right after that last video you saw on Wednesday. And I can't do the usual sit on the tailgate and do a review of something. So I'll just do recording mode and talk about my 550 XP. I mentioned it before in other videos, what it really meant to me when I got this saw. It was, my back wasn't in the best physical condition. I could barely do a tank of fuel in the big saw. But as soon as I got this saw, I was able to buck logs and run 2 tanks of gas through the saw. And that was a huge moral victory. If I had looked at the weights, I probably would have went with the Echo 501P, to be honest, because it's like nearly 2 pounds lighter. It's still a 50cc Pro Saw, and when you're looking at power to weight ratio, the Echo is superior. So the Echo 501P has a better power to weight ratio than the Husqvarna 550 XP, and there's like upwards of a half horsepower difference. But the Echoes actually perform, you know, they punch above their weight class, some of these saw models, like the CS590. The 501P is an amazing little saw. I ran one ported a while back. But there was a few issues early on. I didn't know how to really do the hot start procedure. You know, who reads directions, you know? So I looked it up in the internet because I had like issues with like hot start and vapor lock and stuff. And what I did was look it up on YouTube and figured it out. Okay, one person did a few primes sometimes if there's to help get purge the fuel line, so to speak. Sometimes that does the trick. Usually in the last video, 2 videos ago now, when I was running the Cherry, every restart, even when it was been heat sinked after I took a short break, you know, from running it to chuck rounds off to the side, I just flipped the choke lever up into the full choke, then put it down into the run position, and that puts it in high idle, or like a partial choke mode. So that worked beautifully every restart. You know, it was like, usually it was one pole restart unless I screwed something up. The 20-inch bar is what I prefer to run because I normally run a 24-inch bar in my bigger saws, and that provides a much better reach up and over the logs, and how I work the log pile. 24 inches better, but the clutches on these were never meant for 24-inch bars. So 20-inch is the max. That said, you know, the 20-inch is a lot better than the 18, so I'm glad I went with the 24-inch bar. I mean, a 20-inch bar. Jeez, I got 24-inch bars on my brain for some reason. So the 20-inch bar on here for me works better than the 18. Now, where this 20-inch bar would be a lot nicer than the 24s on my bigger saws is when I'm bucking up a tree. So I drop a tree and then I go to buck it up, and then anything above waist level, that this saw is going to be a lot nicer to use because it's so much lighter than my other saws. About upwards of like 2 pounds compared to 572 XP, about a pound lighter than the Echo 590. So it's going to beat them there. Maybe we count the bar and chain, because it's probably a couple pounds lighter than the Echo 590, and then probably upwards a good 3 pounds lighter than the 572 XP. So yeah, it's still got great power, great response. I would like more power out of it, so maybe I'll get this one ported at some point. I'm not sure. If I want to go through that expense, or I could just save that and, you know, get a 592 XP or something. But it's good on fuel. It gets about, depending on how much you idle it, you know, between chucking rounds out of the way, and if you got to let it idle at all to chuck the rounds, I just shut it off to save the fuel. You get, on split wood, you get on average close to 2.5 face cores per tank of fuels. And that's about the same as my big saws. The big saws just do it faster. So it uses less fuel per cord, but it's a little slower. No, you're talking, 50cc Pro Saw compared to a 72. I mean, come on, there's no contest. But for what it is, it's a good saw. If you want to keep all Husqvarna, you got the bigger saws, but you want a little lighter one for when you're a little sore and stuff, and you still want to cut wood at a decent pace, the 550 XP is probably the saw for you. If you want to go with, you're not brand loyal and you don't care about having different brands, then I'd take a look at the Echo 501P or 4910 if you have a good dealer. The key part is if you have a good dealer nearby. That's more important than the brand itself. So if you're stuck on Husqvarna is best, or Steel is best, that's the only way to go. Or even, it's less of a issue, less Echo people say, oh, Echo is the best, gotta have an Echo. It comes down, really, they're all good saws, unless they have a major defect, like when a new design comes out, which is very rare these days now. Any of the brands are going to service you very well, especially when it's the pro grade saws. Consumer grade, definitely Echo all the way. I feel like they build some of the best at consumer grade, or prosumer, especially with the 590. But yeah, definitely, if you have the Husqvarna dealer nearby and they have great service, go with the 550 XP. You won't regret it. They're a little on the pricey side now. I think the price went up like $50 to $100 on these saws. I know my 572 XP has gone up about close to $100 retail. This one is nearly like $700, if I saw correctly, and it was more like $650 range when I bought it. It was $729 when I got the 5 cans of fuel and the 20-inch bar upgrade, so it's gone up. So it's at least went up $50. And anything else? Air filtration, that works pretty good. I don't have to do a whole lot, mess around with the air filter a whole lot. Other than just wiping it down, keeping it clean. You can see I gotta clean it and wipe it down. That's the only maintenance you gotta do, is just keep it wiped down, take the clutch cover off every couple of sharpenings to clear all the junk and debris out. And it's been problem free. Back in the old days, you had to do a little more maintenance. They might have worn out a little sooner, but compared to a consumer grade saw might have worn out with the amount of work I've put through this, put this saw through already. But then some people have consumer grade saws and they last forever. You just never know what's going to last. There's no excuse for a pro grade saw to not last for an extremely long time, unless you seriously abuse it by letting it run hot all day long, not giving it a break and running another saw between tanks of fuel. Other than that, this saw will last an extremely long time, and I have no regrets buying it. Looking back, when analyzing everything, hindsight, I probably would have gotten the Echo, but the Echo dealer ticked me off, so that's the only thing that soured me on Echo brand. But the Husqvarna dealer is really good. I haven't had any experience with the local steel dealer, but I know of people that have, and I haven't heard anything bad about the local steel dealer up here. So Husqvarna or Echo, you're going to get good service around here. You just got to, if distance is an issue, just look at the servicing dealers, how far away they are. Yeah, 550 XP, dang good saw. It's done everything I've asked of it. It's surprised me, how much lighter it is in feel. On the scale, it might be 2 pounds lighter, but when you're using it, it feels like 4 or 5 pounds, compared to that 590. I mean, it's unreal. So yeah, it fills a good void. If you're running a big wood all the time, well, you're gonna want a bigger saw than this. Big wood, being like 16-inch oak or bigger, you're gonna want a bigger saw, a little more power for the speed. Otherwise, under 16 inch, 50cc Pro Saw all day if you're not concerned about maximum production. So that's it. No, I got no other thoughts on this one other than it's been a very good saw for me. I don't use it that much because I like the reach of the 24-inch bars that I got. Otherwise, I'd use this saw a lot more because of the weight. It's lighter than my other saws, but the other saws have the 24-inch bar, and I'm in a better physical condition now where I can handle that. So let's see if it's still, yeah, it's still raining. So yeah, I was gonna go restock, see if the rain let up, but it is not letting up. I might have actually picked up. It did pour pretty good for a little bit, initially, and then it slowed down to a gentle rain. So it's probably going to be raining for another several hours. So I'm gonna go get cleaned up, get ready for the work week, and then hit it again hard because I've got a lot of wood to cut. I was gonna go cut some walnut trees, but I might not be able to because I gotta get this wood processed. I just can't do any more wood. I was told the guy that I was going to be weekend after the 4th, but with the sales wiping me out this weekend, I just got to process wood that I know is going to burn. I can't go get green wood and then process it, even though I have inventory built up, behind me back there. I can't see it with this camera view, but yeah, I've only got a few cords left of campfire wood, so I got to get going on that oak. It's about a third of it will be ready to burn for sure, especially the smaller pieces. Smaller being, under 12 inch should be all ready to go. There's maybe a third of it. Most of it's bigger stuff, like 14 inch and over 14 inch. Most of it is over that, so it's pretty good sized oak. So, well, that's it, folks, for this episode, and a little more thoughts in the review on it. Oh, one more thing. So far the chain has held up pretty decent. I don't know if it will focus on that. Let's see if it'll focus. I'd have to change camera views, but yeah, the chain has held up pretty good. I don't care for this style of chain. It's anti-kickback, but it performs well. It doesn't perform as well as the Hypet chain did on the bigger saws. So, but it is what it is as far as the chain goes that it comes with. But it does have a cool little gold brass colored link on there, so you know where to sharpen it. Any other questions just on the 550 XP, just put them down in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. You could tell what people really think of the saw just by using it and not really having to brag it up that they got this saw and that saw or something. I'd use this saw a lot more, but because of the bigger wood, I use the 24-inch bar and to reach over the other logs. And if it wasn't for the 24-inch, the lack of reach on this bar, I would use this one for the entire load of cherry that I was bucking on a couple videos ago. Yeah, I would use this saw exclusively because it's so light, easier to maneuver. And the size of the logs, they're all in the 12-inch and under range for the most part, So this is the perfect saw for that. If you could spread those logs out, or if you had to lift it up on the cutting table, I'd use this saw all day long. If I could get those logs elevator, if you had a bucking off of a tractor with a grapple, I'd use this saw all day long on that cherry. No doubt. I would use it all day long. But I'm going to run the... I'll do a comparison. That's it. I'll do a comparison video on next time we get to cutting in a few weeks. I'll get back to that cherry. I'll run the 572 XP compared to the 550 XP and talk about all the ins and outs on this particular cutting application. So that's another point. It depends on your cutting application which saw is going to work out best for you. yeah, I'm just looking at the cherry pile, thinking of, yeah, that would be an excellent idea, and that'll help out a lot of you if you're debating on, you know, your first pro saw. And I'll be talking more about a little bit more on the pro saws, if they're right for you, in future videos and stuff. And I have random thoughts too, you know, on what works here and there. So yeah, if you're considering it, I wouldn't hesitate to buy it. The Stihl 261 is also a good one. But me, I prefer the Husqvarna, especially for the auto tune, the self-compensating carburetors. I just prefer the Husqvarna technology over to Stihl. So that's it, folks. Till next time, take care and get out there, do something, have fun doing it. Don't forget to don't be afraid, I should say, to ask questions, even if they sound good, you know, stupid at the time, or dumb. There are no dumb questions if you have lack of knowledge. So just ask away, and I'll do my best to answer them for you, or get the answers. Or if it's a really good question, I'll just cover that in a standalone video, which is a lot of times more helpful than just answering in the comments. So till next time, folks, stay dry.